I am going to try to take live phone calls. So if anybody wants to call, I'm gonna do this though. I'm gonna say hey and talk to you this way because I don't want you to say something horrible. But if you want to say it to me directly, you can. That's totally within the realm of. It's totally allowed. Let's see, do I have the live chat on? Yeah, I got the chat. Ah, Matt, how are you? Did Dana get you a drink? I know he owed you one. Somebody asked if said that they hoped that the guy who asked so many questions during my peanuts panel wasn't on here. I don't specifically remember that, and I feel like he interrupted. I feel like that's acceptable. I think that my panels encourage interrupting. Uh, I just came back from Raleigh, North Carolina. I was doing. I was doing. Okay, so you believe you got a drink. That's good. You know what? That shows that you enjoyed the drink if you did indeed have it. If you're not 100% sure, I got some cool stuff to show up. I brought some things back from Richmond, and I just went last night. You're in Raleigh. I like Raleigh. This time of year is good too because you don't have all the bugs and everything. The most bugs I ever saw that was South Carolina. Makes Florida seem like tame. Uh, but last night was Rad Day. It was last day was Rad Day, the 21st. And so I went, is that the right date? The 21st. Yeah. So today's the 22nd. So yesterday was Rad Day. So I went to a theater and I saw Rad, which I had never seen in a theater, which was pretty remarkable to me. Uh, I've seen that movie a whole bunch, and I got to tell you, watching it on that big screen, there were a lot of things that I had never noticed. There were a lot of weird little details I picked up. There's a there's a Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch trash can that you see in that movie that I had never noticed. Very cool. All right, I have things to show off. I want to show them off. We got plenty of time. It's early. It's Friday night. What better way to spend Friday night? So I got some cool things from the weekend. Sometimes I pick up things. Sometimes people give me things. I got things that were given to me. Look at this thing. So this is now, here's the crazy thing. Like, if you gave me 50 guesses as to what this was, if I wasn't like a big Disney fan, I would have no idea. But this is a popcorn bucket. You would open it somewhere around here. It opens like that. And you'd put your popcorn in there. You can see there's Figment, the dragon. So you'd fill this with your popcorn. So if you bought this at Disney, you'd say, oh, I'd like a refill. And they'd fill it up. And then here's the cool thing. Look at this. So you do this. This is if you want to wear it around your neck or carry it or something. But look at this thing. Huh? Look at that. It lights up. And it has like regular red lights, or you can do those flashing lights. It's got like different settings. So this is, if you go to Epcot, Journey into Imagination with Figment, this is the pavilion that it's located in, which is pretty great. I got this as a gift, and it's one of the coolest things I have. It came with popcorn. So when you purchase it, Disney gives you a pre-popped bag of like full of preservatives, bright colored rainbow popcorn. So you could eat that, and then when you get your refill, you would, I guess, just walk up and open this, and they just stuff it in there. You'd have to reach around Figment to eat your popcorn, but this will never have any more popcorn in it. I'm going to keep this just as a decoration. Now, I heard the people that gave it to me, they told me that there are a couple things you can do with this. You can set this up so in addition to working on batteries, you can put, like some kind of adapter that makes it plug in, which is pretty cool. And then you can set it, you probably set it so this turns on and off with like a timer or something at that point. And then they said they put like aquarium gravel at the bottom, which said make it look pretty cool. But I think it looks kind of cool without that. I actually think it'd be very cool to keep pets in there too. But I love that. So I got that. And this I'm super excited about. By the way, I should give the phone number every now and then. If you'd like to call, you can call me now by dialing this number. And also my cat is now right here. Yeah, fish tank, right? I think it would leak. My cat's right here, so if she comes in the shot, you'll get to see her. But again, anybody want to dial, operators are standing by. I'm doing great, David. I am going through, so I just came back from Richmond, Virginia. Did a show there called GalaxyCon. I have some odds and ends, some interesting things that I picked up there, some things people gave me as gifts. I'm showing them off. Also, we are taking your calls. So if you want to call, you just call this number and I will answer the phone. And we can talk and you can help entertain here. So there you go. There is the phone number. Hi, David. David is my middle name. Whoa. There's a lot going on here. My middle name is Anthony, by the way. If you'd like if we're doing middle names, I figure we should all check in. Look at this. He is afraid. He is totally alone. He is 3 million light years away from home. I could not resist this. Look at this. Scholastic books. And one of the things I kind of liked about this, I'm a fan when I get, I think everybody has to have 2 first names. I think the middle name has always got to be a first name, right? It can't be a last name. That'd be odd. I picked this up and I like old stuff when it's not brand new. This has some damage, and the damage actually made it more interesting to me. I'll show you. It's nothing super exciting, but it's taped up, and it's a style of tape that I have not seen since 1983. It is the masking tape, but it's the one that's all textured. And they used to use that. The other tape that we used, and I believe that the reason this is textured is the same reason as the clear tape used to have threads in it. They used to put threads in it to make it stronger. But this is the E.T. storybook. I just did a video about E.T. and E.T.'s great. Yeah, I love movie stuff. Look at this. So this is, if I remember correctly, this is the scene where E.T. goes in the bathtub. This sequence was not shown in the movie. It's shown in well, I don't know, because I see shoes here. I don't know whose shoes those are. But the sequence where he goes in the bathtub is one of the most important sequences, and it was never put in the film. When they did that re-release on DVD, they included it. But it explains that E.T. felt better when he went in the bathtub. And so then later in the movie, when they put him in that coffin, and then they put ice on top of him, that's what brings him back to life. So I had always, like everybody else, when E.T. comes back to life, was like, oh, it's just because he loves that kid. He came back to life. But I don't think that's the reason. I think it's because it's cold. Let's see here. They talk about this. Yeah, this is where he's like, you must be dead. He's like, you must be dead because I don't feel anything anymore. Oh, man, what a sad movie this is. I actually went to the filming locations for this years ago, back before I was doing YouTube. The poster behind me, it's as entertaining as Free Willy. This is Monkey Trouble with the young Thora Birch and Harvey Keitel. This is I got a little theater in my house. And so I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 posters in this room and then 1 outside. And so I changed them because these are movie theater style poster frames. So they open from the front. So you don't actually take them off the wall. And so I put that one up just for you guys. Monkey Trouble. I had A Wrinkle in Time up and I looked at it and it just looked like this. I thought was better because it's kind of just there. Although the Free Willy quote is pretty great. I always wonder, like in England, when they use the word Willy for something else, did they title that something else? Dunstan checks in. By the way, I have, speaking of collecting stuff and Dunstan checks in, I have a Dunstan checks in lunchbox that I've never seen anyone else have. Last time I looked, and this may have changed now, I couldn't find anything about it online, but this is very cool. I love E.T. I have a giant E.T. I did not show this in my E.T. video the other day, but I have, and it's pretty far from here. I can't show it without walking down the hall here, which I'm tethered to a bunch of things here, so I can barely move here. But I have an ET that's like this tall, and I bought him in New York when they did the re-release of the movie in theaters for like the 25th anniversary or whatever it was. And I bought them in Times Square at the Toys R Us, which was amazing. This Toys R Us had a Ferris wheel, and each section of the Ferris wheel was themed to another intellectual property. So, like, there was a Scooby-Doo car where you got in the Mystery Machine and went around the Ferris wheel. I remember there was a Cabbage Patch Kid section where you, like, sat in there with a couple Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah, I think there might have been My Little Pony. All kinds of, like, crazy, really cool Ferris wheel cars. Now that whole thing's gone. But I went there. I bought E.T. because he was half price, because he had been out for a while. I think the ETs weren't selling well enough. This is when they had the long finger. ET had like the long vibrating finger that they sold, which is just weird. But it was supposed to be like ET's finger. But I don't know who thought this was a smart idea. But I don't want that. But I bought the talking ET and I bought the giant ET. And I took this ET, I slung him over my shoulder, and I walked through New York for like 40 minutes. And everywhere I went, just crazy people were going, hey, phone home, right? Phone home. And I was like, yeah, phone home. But anyway, there's the ET scrapbook. I went to California, and it was before I was doing videos, and I wish I had done videos. So hopefully I'll go back. But I went to the park where all the kids met up on their bikes and everything. David, you mentioned wrestling. I got some cool wrestling videos. I've done a handful. I've got plans to do a lot more. I am a big wrestling fan, and usually around this time of year, I get super into wrestling, and I really enjoyed the Royal Rumble, and then I kind of tuned out. I got to tune back in. I keep getting updates. I keep seeing, like on my subscriptions, WWE puts all their videos. I just haven't, I got to get into it because WrestleMania is right around the corner. I'm not going. I think it's in Philadelphia, and I am not going because they've jacked the prices up. I went to the WrestleMania a few years ago. Great experience. I've been to WrestleMania, WrestleMania 10 in New York City back when tickets were $25. And then I went to a few WrestleManias. I don't know which numbers, but I went to one in Atlanta, and then I went to one in Miami, and I went to one in New York. And I loved all of them. But the price kept doing this every time I went back. And so finally now it's gotten to a point where I can't go. I don't think I'd have a good time for that price point. I don't think if I pay $400 for a ticket, there's any match that could put me at a level where I'm like, wow, that was worth $400. I'm just not going, right? See, Aaron knows. Aaron, you know my life better than me. All right, this is a very exciting thing I got. Yeah, it's like watching on DVD. And I got to tell you, here's the thing. I've been there in person. It's great in person. It's almost better on television. Like on television, you get the commentary. A lot of times when you're there in person, you don't know what's going on at points and stuff. So, if it's in Vegas, well, you know what? I mean, it's only been in Vegas once before, I think. And that was WrestleMania 9 when they did the Yokozuna, Hulk Hogan wacky ending. But that was in a non-existing place. Like I was at Caesar's Palace, but they did that like in the tennis courts and parking lot. They built an arena. So if they did it there, it'd be interesting. I went to Las Vegas once, was there for 3 days, had a lot of fun, but lost way too much money. All right, so this is the legendary unicorn. Look at this thing. I did a video about unicorns a while back, and I got a comment on it where somebody said, I have to go check my grandma's attic. And I said, well, I'm going to assume that they're just saying that, because the other thing I talked about was, I don't know if you guys remember, the circus had a unicorn in the 80s. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus had a unicorn. What they did was, a lot of people thought they had tied like the two goat horns together on a goat. But what they did was they took a goat. So again, this is not the most majestic animal to make a unicorn out of. But they took this goat and they did a surgery when it was born that they said didn't hurt it. I'm sure, I mean, it's a surgery. You probably do something. They do anesthesia on goats, I guess. Anyway, they did something in there to make the horns grow up as one. And this company, they still make unicorns. They're still out there doing it. But anyway, here's so anyway, Michael and Jessica commented on the video, and they had this is the real legendary unicorn. Now, I know you're thinking, what is this? How much is this? Is this worth thousands of dollars? No, it was yours for 2 payments of $19.99 back in 1985. And now you can get them a lot cheaper than that on eBay. But I have one now. So they said that grandma had one, but they said this was by no means one of grandma's prize collections, but it was just something that she happened to have. So I'm gonna put it right there. Autographs. So David, what now again, let me give the number. If anybody wants, you can call, talk to me directly. I will take your call. What is your favorite autograph that you have ever gotten at a show? That's a great question. I want to ask that of you, and then I'm now thinking I'm going to try to answer it myself. But there is the phone number. If anybody wants to call, operator standing by. Hello? Nobody's there. All right, but there's the number. If you want to call it, if you're watching this later, it's going to be turned off. So you can't call it later. You can only call now. I'll turn it off in between, but we'll put it on next time if it works. I don't know if it works. Maybe people are calling, it's just not ringing. So what's the favorite autograph you've gotten? My favorite autograph, I know exactly the best one. Actually, I didn't get an autograph. I just got a picture with him, but I went to a comic convention. It was Denver Comic-Con. And I was a guest there. Dana was a guest there. We did, and Carrie Means was there as well, Frylock. And we did an Aqua Teen panel together. I hosted it, and they talked about Aqua Teen. And then me and Dana did Drunk on Disney. And what I remember about this was we kept saying, I hope somebody shows up to this. Because the Aqua Teen panel had a lot of people. But we were like, I hope somebody comes to, who knows if these people have ever been to Disney. We're all the way in Colorado. And so we get there, and people are lined up in the hallway. And as we're walking up, they're like, hey, Drunk on Disney. And we're like, yeah, we're going to the panel. Why? Thank goodness there's somebody here that's heard of it. Please come in the panel. And they said, yeah, we can't get in. And so we went into the panel room. This was the largest panel we've ever done. They had 500 people, and it was standing room only. So my God, that's a lot of pressure to do a halfway decent panel that we had done no prep for. Favorite autograph was the New Day, dressed as Powerline. So you were dressed as Powerline from the Goofy movie, and you met the New Day. Xavier Woods seems like the guy that would know that. All right. Here is my autograph, though. It was from that show. So I remember we did that show. The audience was great. They loved everything we did. And I met, so Carrie Means was there. He's Frylock on Aqua Teen. And Carrie is very big on saying hi to everybody. He wants, introduce himself to everybody, be friendly with everybody. He's a very outgoing guy. And so one day I'm walking into the convention. I knew this celebrity was there, and this is one of my favorite celebrities. And Carrie goes, hey, guy, here, I want you to meet Al Yankovic. And I was like, oh, my God. And so I was like, hi, Weird Al. Weird Al says hi. And so then I saw Weird Al every day after that. So that was Friday. So I saw him Saturday, and then I saw him Sunday. And every day I'd be like, hey, Al. He'd be like, hey, guy. And I was like, I cannot believe this. I'm sure today Al has no memory of this, but for those 3 days, he knew my name. And he recognized me when I would come. There was only so many people backstage, but still, he remembered me. And so the last day I was talking to him, and I said, hey, I was with Carrie, and Carrie said, hey, I think Carrie wanted, I don't remember if I asked for a picture with Carrie and him, or I don't remember how it worked out. But either way, I got a picture of me and Weird Al Yankovic, and immediately showed it to my mom, who was like, oh, that's the guy you were obsessed with when you were a kid. And I was like, yeah, sort of. I sort of still am. I watched Al TV when Weird Al would take over MTV. Funniest thing I ever saw. You should seek it out. Archive.org, I think, has almost all of them. And you want to watch the uncut version with the commercials, because sometimes he would interrupt the commercials, and that was kind of the best part of it. But I then showed it to my kid, and my kid goes, oh, yeah. And my kid was like 6 at the time. And he goes, oh, yeah, I hate that guy. And I was like, why do you hate Weird Al? And then he reminded me of why he hated Weird Al. It's because when he was like 5, I showed him the video for Fat, where Weird Al went and blew up, and he's, do. And this traumatized my kid. And so he took him a long time. I don't know that he's fully over it. He's certainly not. I don't hear him humming any Weird Al tunes. So, all right, I'm going to show you guys some of this other stuff I have. I think we got 25 more minutes to 45, and then maybe we'll go past that, but we're supposed to go 45 minutes. If anybody would like to call, Operators are standing by. There's the phone number. 972-302-9352. It is a McKinney, Texas number. I picked that in honor of Benji. I had just done a video about Benji, and Benji was filmed in McKinney, Texas. And so I saw that as an option. I was like, that could be my number. All right, here's, I got stuff here. This stuff is great, but it was given to me in one of these file drawers, which I just love. Like one of these. These are from the old days. But I want to show you this. Here's the program. This is the program for the show we just did. And so if you live in anywhere near a city and they do comic conventions, please, if you enjoy this stuff I do, go to them and say, hey, that's a guy you should bring in. But yeah, we did Drunk on Disney there live. That's us. It's me and Dana. It's a picture of me from 2015, back when I was doing book signings for the Sesame Place book. And then I do little panels, which I've showed you guys on here. I put little shortened versions of them, but you get the full panel if you go there in person. And I'm in here somewhere. They got like all kinds of great stuff. Like, look, they got cosplayers there. Look at these cosplayers. I think, let's see. This guy's really nice. This guy's a friend of mine. I know a couple of the other cosplayers. Always cosplayers everywhere. That's always fun. And then here's the entertainment guests. Some of my dear friends listed on here. There's Patty Hawkins, the best stage host I've ever seen. And then my buddy down here, Milo Beasley, professional wrestler, snazzy dresser. Oh, this guy, Elgin David. He hosts the match game for us. This guy is born to be a game show host. He is like, if the fact that he is not hosting a game show on television right now, I'm still very sad about. They had Kit there, but they charge you to take pictures with Kit, which is reasonable. I mean, this guy has to bring the whole thing there. I totally get it. But they charge for it, so you can't just take... So I couldn't just walk up and take some video, and I never had time to stop and pay the guy. So every time I walked by it, I was like, oh, I'd love to get a real quick video, but I don't want to violate, this guy's trying to make a living. So next time, I'm hoping to see the Kit guy. I want to say, hey, let me pay. Oh, missed call. Okay, all right. I think we got it. We had a call. It was a missed call because I had the volume off. But if you are watching, please call back. For those of you who just joined us, here is the television number. Here's the telephone number. So that is how you can call in right now. It appears that it works. If you want to just call and yell at me, you're welcome to do that. You want to insult me, I'm here for it. You want relationship advice, I'll be happy to give it to you. They had a lot of wrestlers at the show. I saw Dolph Ziggler. Oh, we got a call coming in. Well, let me say hello. Hello. All right. I think we got it. To accept, press 1. So I'm going to do that. Hello. Yes, there I am. So who is this? Well, no, turn off. So you don't want to listen to me on the recording. You want to listen to me just on here now. So mute your TV or device of any kind. Fantastic. So who is this? Oh, Matt. All right, Matt, I'm going to put you on speaker. Don't say anything horrible. I'm going to put Matt on speaker here because I know Matt. So, Matt, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just hanging out in the hotel room.
Yeah. What are you doing in Raleigh?
A thing called Hawaii Club in North Carolina, which basically is a club of Hawaiian immigrants, and they hang out and do Hawaiian things.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So, like tiki culture?
Yeah, like they have like potluck. They bring food. They do like luau's every year.
Now, do they have alcohol at this or no?
They will.
They will. Yeah. The reason why I ask is. No, we lost him. He disconnected. By the way, Morris the cat is the background on my phone. And I could apparently watch March Madness live. The reason I ask if they have liquor there is I know that there's a thing in Mormon culture with tiki, Hawaiian culture. So Mormons really like tiki stuff, Hawaiian stuff. And I know the Marriott. Ooh, he's called back. All right, let me accept this. One, put it back on speaker. Hey.
Testing?
All right.
The call dropped.
Sorry, but well, I don't think it was on my end, but I think it might have been Google. All right. So you're listening to me only through your phone, right? Not through the YouTube broadcast. Pause, pause, pause. So are there any events in this Tiki event? Oh, he's gone again. I don't know what's going on. All right. I don't know. I don't know if it's his hotel. But again, for those of you who'd like to be part of the fun, here is the number. If you're watching on a later broadcast, do not call the number. This is only for the live audience. We'll be back. We'll be back doing this another day because boy, it has been so successful thus far. This is my clipboard, by the way. Somebody pointed this out. Okay, so let's leave it be, I guess. I don't know what's going on with that, but I put this on the back because there was a UPC code on the back of this and it said Staples, and I noticed it in a bunch of my videos, and then it said Staples up here. So I was like, ha ha ha, no way, Staples. But I was just touring a bunch of different locations, and I have on here. These are places I went, and I was going to go do a follow-up on this, but I went to some DC cab locations last year, but I didn't get a chance to do the follow-up part 2 on that. But I did part 2 on Finnegan Begin Again, which is a movie so few people have seen, but it's a delightful Mary Tyler Moore movie, and that video went up today. And I did a video for Guarding Tess with Nicolas Cage, where I went to all the locations from that. And I'm hoping to do another one of those. Because Guarding Tess I went to almost all the locations. So if you've ever seen this movie, and if you haven't, I'll give you a quick synopsis of it. It is Nicolas Cage plays Doug. He's Dougie, the Secret Service agent. He used to work for the president. Now he works for the ex-first lady, which is a big downgrade, and he doesn't like it. The first lady wants him to be her Secret Service agent because he's good, but she's also crotchety and mean and really treats him terribly. She is on this like weird power play. Now she's played by Shirley MacLaine. She's so charming that even when she's mean, you kind of still like her. So it pays off later because she's not mean the whole movie. Anyway, in the movie, there's a bunch of locations. There's a whole kidnapping subplot. If you haven't seen it, I guess I won't spoil it, but go ahead and watch it. I did a video where I went to the locations, and one of the locations was where she had like a picnic, and Nicolas Cage is there, and then she's suffering from like brain cancer, and so he has to carry her over to the limo. And if you've ever seen the movie, that was the only spot that I knew the location of, but I didn't go to. And the reason was it was 20 some minutes away, which wasn't terrible because when I went to those locations, if you watch that video, it's like I go to location 1, the next one's a half hour away. The next one after that was a half hour away. I had no idea how I could stay in Baltimore and every place was a half hour away. Nothing was near anything else. But this one was also like 20, 30 minutes away. And when I looked at it on Google Street Views, I couldn't tell where the heck I would park. So I thought I might only be able to show it from the car window, which is okay if it's 10 minutes away. But if I got to drive a half hour, I want to get out and walk around. But it looked like that might be a problem. So my thought is maybe I'll find a couple more locations from it and then maybe go there with somebody else where they can kind of just pull over. I can hop out because it looked like a relatively busy road. But if they circle around, I can go over there and show you guys. Be like, oh my God, this is the spot on the grass where Nicolas Cage was standing. I find movie locations so interesting. And I know some people that enjoy them a little bit. I've met a few people that like Adam the Woo, who I'm relatively good friends with. We've done I guess he didn't do Dragon Con, but he was at Dragon Con when I was doing Dragon Con. Met him there, been in his video at least once. I know the last time he was at Spooky Empire, I didn't see him because I was not there on Friday and he was recording on Friday, but he showed me in the book, which I really liked. And if you ever watch his videos, when he's in his house, one of my books is on his shelf and he always shows it, which I think is awesome. But anyway, he's another guy that I've met that likes filming locations and we talk about him. And I love that because most people, when I tell them filming locations, they're like dumbfounded. They're like, why would you care? Why would that, I had a friend of mine, I told him I was going to a filming, to where they shot Sesame Street in Astoria or Queens or whatever. And he said to me, he was like, yeah, but they wouldn't still be there. And I'm like, well, that's not why you go. I'm not going to the guarding test locations, assuming that Shirley MacLaine's still there. All right. So we were talking about the wrestlers that they had at this show. So I had my table. They give me a celebrity table, which trust me, I know I don't belong there. It's as amusing to me as it is to you guys, but it's great because I get to meet all you guys. You can come up and I have my books there and give out stickers and stuff. But I was on the same row with Arn Anderson. He was a couple tables down. I was on the same row with Lex Luger. I saw him. And then Scott Steiner. I kept seeing Scott Steiner walk by every few minutes. And one time I was walking up because I've talked to some of the wrestlers. I've talked to Rick Steiner. I'll tell you that story. It's not that great of a story, but it is a story. And but I've never talked to Scott Steiner, and I didn't want to just go up and introduce myself to him because he's a beast. So instead, I saw that he was walking over, and I knew where he was going because I knew where his table was. And so I purposely walked real slow and then bumped into him. So he apologized to me, and I said, "That's all right. It's all right, Scott Steiner." It was very exciting. I mean, I talked about it to everybody all day. I was like, I got bumped into by Scott Steiner, and he bumps hard, which I like. I like that. He's not doing kayfabe or anything. I met Rick Steiner. This is my Rick Steiner story. I was at a bar in Raleigh. I was at the Rye Bar, and there were a lot of crazy drunk ladies there. And I usually am not, as you can imagine, the women are all over me all the time. But usually I can go to a bar and have a drink without being hit on. Not that night. And same thing for Rick Steiner. And we both got up at the same time. We weren't together. He was sitting a little bit down the bar. But we both were like, this is kind of a little crazy. And so I got up and went to the elevator. And I saw him go up and he got in the elevator. And he goes, I don't know what's going on there. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And he's like, I'm just going to go to bed. And I was like, that's what I'm doing. Get out of there. Because when the ladies get so crazy that me and Rick Steiner both say no mas and just head to our respected rooms. Thankfully, we weren't on the same floor. I don't like when I know anybody that's near my room. This is a weird phobia I have, but I went to a con recently. I was there with my friend. Let me show you her, and she is on YouTube, and she's a sweetheart, and so you should pull her up. Here she is, Lisa Correo. It was her birthday yesterday, so if you're friends with her on Facebook or anything, go wish her a happy birthday. But I was walking her. I was like, oh, I'll walk you to the elevator, and I'm going to go to my room anyway, so let's walk over together. So we walk over to the elevator, get in the elevator. I said, what floor? 3. I said, oh, I'm in 3 too. And so, yeah, okay. I'm going to put a pin in the pineapple-shaped lamps. Let me finish this story, but I'll tell you a little bit. But those guys are great. So we're walking, and then we get off the elevator. I'm like, oh, my room's this way. She's like, oh, so is mine. And we start walking, and we're getting towards the end of the hall, and there's not many rooms left. And I'm getting this terrible feeling in my stomach that we're going to be roommates, not roommates, but like sharing a wall. And I don't want to share a wall with anyone I know. Because when the toilet flushes in the middle of the night, I don't want to know who was using it. And thank God there was a buffer room. So I don't know who was next to me and her, whoever that was. We both heard the toilet, Lisa and me, either sides of this toilet. But at least we didn't know who it was. Because I don't want that. Don't worry about that. It's just weird. I don't want to be next to Rick Steiner and hear the toilet flush in the middle of the night and be like, well, Rick Steiner's in there. I don't want to know about it. Pineapple-shaped lamps. So they're a comedy troupe. They do They do these conventions. They're always very nice to me. Always. They are what do they call it? Improv. And unlike me and Dana, who also do an improv show, they practice. And if you're on the same floor with them, I bet they practiced. If you were close to their room, I'm sure you heard it. I mean, it's they probably don't. They those guys are improv guys. Don't care about quiet hours at the hotel. When I got on the elevator at GalaxyCon, so yeah, again, I was just at GalaxyCon Richmond. And when I got on the elevator the first day, there was an older lady there, and she said to me, she's like, "Well, I hope you're not on the floor that's." Well, let me think what the word she used. It was like a word for like when something gets, like when I know what she said. She said, "I hope you're not the floor that's flooded with those GalaxyCon people." And I said, "There's a floor that's flooded? Like that's the only part of it that I heard." And she's like, "No, no, no. I just mean it's full of those GalaxyCon people." And I said, "Oh, what are the GalaxyCon people?" And she's like, "Ugh, you don't want to know." And I was like, "All right." I do feel for people though that are at these like hotels. Like you're there to have a family vacation. All of a sudden, Scott Steiner's in the elevator with you. Like every morning there's a guy dressed as like this Scream mask or whatever just walking by. All right, I got a couple more items, a couple more things to share with you guys. So this is another gift I got. Somebody picked this up for me at Disney Springs at Christmas time. I had another thing I was going to show you, but I forgot to bring it over, so that'll have to wait. But it is a very lackadaisical Christmas ornament, unpainted. I guess you could paint it yourself. I don't know these children. They came with the ornament, but which reminds me of the Burbs. The picture, it came with the frame. I didn't see a moving van when the Naps moved out. Oh, that is very strange. It was parked out there all the day. Brother Theodore, man. Look at this. The Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. I don't know if you guys saw the Santa Clauses. I did, and I was woefully disappointed. Oh, it says it's got the hanging string included. Let's check that out. Ooh. Look at that. I can hang this thing up on my tree. I will hang this on my tree. I was disappointed with the Santa Clauses. I had seen all the other ones. And I even liked the Jack Frost one with Martin Short. Thought that was fun. The problem with this was it's like 6 hours long. And then they did a part 2. I don't need that. Right? Yeah, it's too, the problem is you got to tighten that up to an hour and a half. That's all I need. More than an hour and a half of Tim Allen pretending to be Santa is too much. Too much. Can't do it. All right, I got some menus to show you. These are Disney menus. Look at this. Look at this cool menu. And this menu, completely like pristine, unused. And it's got all the stuff. How great that. I mean, come on. You watch the other 3 every year. Yeah, I almost always watch that first one. And I enjoy the second one, the Mrs. Claus. I'm a big sucker for these Disney menus. I love Disney park maps, but I kind of love these menus even more because like the crazy thing about this is like today, this is super cool, right? Like I could sit here and be like, all right, let's see what I would order if we were there. All right, I'd get, let's see, to drink, I could get a vitamin water. They have blueberry pomegranate vitamin water. I'd get that. That sounds good. Maybe a specialty cocktail after dinner. Let's see what that would be. I'll get the Jungle Navigation Company Shandy. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is a shandy, so it's like the premium lemonade together with their, what do they call it? Belgian white ale, which is great. That's actually, that recipe's in the Drunk on Disney Bibbidi Boozity book. So if you ever want to try it at home, pretty easy recipe. It's two things. But what I love about this is like 50 years from now, if I'm still around, I can see what the menu was that day. I can be like, oh, that's what they were eating back then. And it's kind of fun because if you look at menus from the past, like if you look at a Disney menu from 20 years ago, you're like, whoa, look at these prices. Whoa, they have that. Whoa, they're advertising. Because we're very trendy as human beings, and Disney jumps right on those trends. One of the things that I notice is that about every 10 years in my lifetime, they have come up with and this is not Disney, this is just the world as a whole, has come up with a new type of beef. Currently, the big thing is Wagyu beef. And I had Wagyu beef at Disney. My son had watched a lot of YouTube, and we watched Nick DiGiovanni and a couple other chefs on YouTube, and they always talk about the Wagyu beef. We watched the other guy who doesn't talk and wears black gloves. I don't remember his name, but we watch a bunch of these cooks, and they always talk about the Wagyu beef. And so my son wanted the Wagyu beef, and we went over to Steak, STK, and we ordered the Wagyu platter, which was great. And the guy came over with a little flamethrower and lit our butter on fire. And the platter is $200. It's suitable for more than one person. And my thought was, we're gonna order this. We'll eat it. I let my son have as much of it as he wanted. I didn't want to eat anything that he didn't want. If he didn't want it, I would eat it. But otherwise, I wasn't going to eat it because there's a lot. I could go to Wendy's later that night if I'm still hungry. Let him enjoy the thing that he wanted, and that way he got to have it. But they had bone marrow, so they had like a hunk of bone there, and you could scoop the bone marrow out and eat that. We tried that. That was pretty good. They had Wagyu beef tacos that they made out of like the scraped off pieces of like burnt ends off of other Wagyu steaks. Then they had slices of all the different Wagyu steaks that they had. So you got a little slice of all the different steaks. So it was great. And my son loved it. And we had a great time there. But if this was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it would have been Angus would have been the big thing. And if you go back before that, they had, the filet mignon was big. And then, just like different ways to prepare it. Like, in the 70s, it was, have a London broil. And remember when they also, in the 80s, they had veal. That was a big thing was, they put the cows in the pen and fattened them up. Look at this. The Boss of Sauce, chicken guy. This is Guy Fieri's chicken. This is really good, by the way. This is his chicken wing restaurant. Shout out to my friend Jose. He watches these. Jose, you've seen in the videos probably because we went to the Waffle House Wendy chair throw location in Austin, Texas, where the woman threw the chair and the other girl caught it in midair and just stared her down like a Jedi. We went to that location. And if you haven't seen this video, look it up on my channel because it is great. It's one of my favorite videos. We went to the chair throw location, and as we're pulling up, we see the police outside, and the place had just been robbed. And so we couldn't go in. We had to go to Whataburger, which I had never been to. Jose had never been to. And then I showed like the rest of my day. I did a bunch of different things. Tried to track down a location from Idiocracy, had no luck. And then the end of the night, I went to go watch Leva Bates, my very good friend, wrestle a match in some kind of weird like sportsman lodge. It was like real wooden, felt like I was in a log cabin. And she wrestled a match against a guy called the Stud Stash. And he had like this big giant mustache. And then she came out in a mustache. And by the end of the match, I was wearing the mustache. So if you haven't seen that video, the Waffle House Wendy chair throw video I did, look that up. It's one of the best ones I ever did. I don't know if I'll ever reach such levels of, I don't think I'll ever end up wearing a lady wrestler's mustache at the end of a video ever again. It's probably the only time in my life. This is pretty good. So I collect this stuff. So some of the people, when they go to these places, they will bring this stuff back for me. And I'm super thankful because get to save it, get to see it in the future. Look at this. Now this, the Dad's Electric Lemonade, which I think is the one at the top here. Let me see here. What would be the other one here? There's two blue cocktails here. I'm just trying to see what the other one is that's blue. Because I'll tell you what these are. So these are all the specialty cocktails. This is probably from the Tune-In Lounge. Dad's Electric Lemonade, which is, it could be either of the blue ones. I have no idea. Contro is not blue. Curacao is blue. So where's blue? Okay, all right. So I got the two blue ones. I know which one's which now. All right. So Dad's Electric Lemonade, I still don't know which one is which in order, though. I guess they go in this order. All right, great. Got it. Dad's Electric Lemonade is the one at the top. As you see, they are very similar looking. It's this one. And that one it's like vodka, Sprite, blue curacao, sweet and sour, with a souvenir glow cube. And I don't, oh yeah, I do see the glow cube right in there. And that's always cool. And then they have a premium margarita with Patron and indigo hibiscus. This is your other blue drink. And that one has uh, Balls Blue, Bols. I've seen that brand. I just don't know about how it's pronounced. Bowls or Balls. Blue Curacao liqueur, Minute Maid Premium Lemonade, Orgeat, which I think is pronounced Orshot, which you see that Orgeat, but I believe it's pronounced Orshot. And then Hibiscus Grenadine and Empress 1908 Gin. And then at the bottom, the Tune-In PB&J cocktail with peanut butter whiskey and a blackberry brandy. Look at that. I mean, yeah, you're living. That's a Friday night. I like that. Oh, the spaceship. Hold on. Okay, here, hold on. Doing Foley. Oh, ET's spaceship is landing. All right. All right, let's hear. All right, we got to hit one. You're back.
Okay, third time's a charm. Yeah, I got LTE working, so hopefully it'll stay on.
Fantastic. So tell me, what other than the stuff I was involved in, what did you do at the con? Was there anything exciting you saw or did?
Okay, so when they were doing Dino and Dana's Safe Space,
Mm-hmm.
they were in the podcast, and Dino was doing it, and first Lisa was doing it. She showed the name of the bar they were at. So
Right.
I'm just gonna go walk there.
So let me give the background just for anybody that doesn't know. So Dana Snyder, my friend, we do Drunk on Disney together. He also does a show with my other friend Lisa Correo, and then my other friend Dino Stamotopoulos, and they do this show called Safe Space, and they were doing a live stream where they were going like bar hopping for the whole night. This was on Sunday, and so you saw where they were going to be and what happened.
I walked over there and I got on their podcast.
There you go. So he probably did buy you a drink.
I think so. Yeah, I hung out with him for like 3 hours.
There you go. Well, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what, you hung out with him for 3 hours more than I did that night, so that's pretty good. Those guys are a blast.
I was like,
Dino Stamotopoulos is one of my favorite people in the world. I had known him. We did shows together. I mean, going back like 10 years or so, and I had never had a conversation with him that was more than just a few words. We had even been out to dinner, and it was just, it was us and 10 other people or whatever. And so I had pleasantries, exchanged with him, but that was it. And then we had a panel that there was some issues with it, but it ended up Dino filled in for the other person that was supposed to be on the panel. And we ended up, the two of us, just talking about going to Disney for a long period of time. And it was great. And he's a charming person. I found him like, he's like a super sweet man. And that is not the image he tries to project, but I will tell you, he's a sweet, nice guy. Look at this. Well, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a highlight.
I get there and he's like, go have some fries. You came from the podcast. Go have some fries.
They do when they do their panel, they feed people. They always have like leftovers that they brought from the restaurant, and they're like, "Oh, you asked a good question. You can have some of this." And I always have thought that this is a recipe for disaster. I feel like you should not be giving food to the audience, particularly if you do not have a give food to the audience license. I feel like there are dinner theaters and things that have a particular license for it. Well, this is great. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Do you have any final words for the universe?
I don't know.
All right. Well, that's. I mean, you know what? Hey, look. In terms of the entire universe, none of us know, and so that is as profound of a statement as you can be. All right. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm gonna be wrapping up now, so Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to shut this down, and then that is it for the calls, by the way. So you have you've succeeded where others have failed. So congratulations.
Bye, guys.
All right, dude. Have a great night. All right, so I want to let you guys know. So I did see Rad last night in the theater, and I was struck by how many things I noticed in the background that I had never noticed before. So I did the script for a video, which I don't do word for word, but I got to pull all the pictures and know what I'm going to talk about. So I did that because I found so many interesting things about Rad watching it on a screen that big. So many things I had never noticed. So, and also, like, the other thing is every time I had watched that movie, and it was a lot, this is the BMX bike racing movie from 1986. And every other time I had watched it at home, and it's easy to be distracted. You know, even before cell phones, there still were things in your house. You look around, oh, the doorbell rang, phone's ringing, let me start the dinner on, or, whatever you got to do. So watching it, undivided attention, and my whole family was there. I was seated between my dad and my son, watching a movie from my childhood. My three brothers, are in the row with me, and we always watched it together. My sister's there, and all kids and everybody else, spouses, were all there together. And the audience was really cool. The audience had like Rad t-shirts and Mongoose t-shirts, and so the audience was ready for it, but they were quiet until towards the end of the movie. And so at first I was like, what's wrong with you guys? We should be laughing at every line. We should be clapping. And they didn't do any of that until we got to right around the time of the big race. Then they really perked up. And so like every move, we were all cheering like we were at a live sporting event, which was very cool. So I have that coming up on Monday. I don't do videos during the weekend right now. I might go back to it, but I've just had too many nights like last night where I'm out until late and then I have no time to shoot a video. But Monday, I have the Muppet Traffic Safety Show. Be on this channel, and it's a weird Muppet, like, traveling ride, like almost like a theme park ride that existed for a few years. So I cover that in great detail. And then I'm going to give you guys a tease on all the upcoming stuff. So I'm doing a video about Rad. I'm doing a video about Candid Camera, if you guys remember that. I'm doing a video about the Statue of Liberty. It's more specific than that in general, but I don't want to waste your time talking about it now. But when that comes up, there's some weird facts that I found out about the Statue of Liberty. And I found a Statue of Liberty when I was in Richmond, which was pretty cool. And I'm also going to be recording a video this week about certs. This was the candy. They were a breath mint or a candy mint. Commercial would tell you it was 2 mints in one. So I'll be doing a video about that and a bunch of other stuff. So we got a big week coming up next week. Week after that, probably be a big week. And then just a couple, like 2 months from now, I'm going to be in Oklahoma City. So I'll be showing you stuff from Oklahoma. So it'll be all news. So make sure to tune in. Share this with a friend. I know I never do the, like, subscribe stuff anymore because I figure you guys know. But honestly, the best things you could do, if you're like, hey, I kind of like this guy, I think he's kind of interesting, comment on my videos, even if you just comment like, good video. The algorithm on YouTube sees that and is like, whoa, that's a big deal. Second thing, if you know anybody that you think would like this, share it with them. If you belong to like a group on Reddit or Facebook or anything where I'm talking about a topic that you think they'd like, if you're allowed to share it, please share it with them. So the more people I can get seeing this, the more I appreciate it, because I'm happy to do it for whoever's. I'll do it by myself. Nobody's here, but I like, more people, more fun. So, all right, guys, hope you're having a great night. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you so much for spending a Friday night with me. I'll see you next time. Now, how do I turn this off? Got to figure that out. I think it's this button right here.